This is the Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
Let's go nuts! It's Jimmy Nuts! Right out of the door!
With your hosts, Mark Martinez.
Because I'm the Mark, and I'm awesome!
The Guru.
Today I'm going to break it down for all you simpleton sweat hogs listening out there in Can Crusher Nation. I don't mean to come out here week after week and toot my own horn, but toot, toot.
And the English Professor.
It is I, the English Professor from the County of Kings, speaking the English of the Queen.
Hey, this is former WWE superstar Duke, the Dumpster Drosy, and you are listening to the Can Crushers Podcast.
Welcome to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. My name is Mark Martinez, and this Can Crushers Spotlight is very near and dear to my heart. I'm going to have one of my best friends in the wrestling profession come on the show and talk about DuBois, Pennsylvania. DuBois, Pennsylvania is going to be hosting a huge sports festival on June 18th, 19th, and 20th. If you like baseball, you like wrestling, and then you like Al Snow, June 18th, 19th, and 20th, you need to be in DuBois, Pennsylvania for the Keith Miller Memorial Invitational. It is going to be jam-packed with baseball and wrestling. Guys, I'm so excited to be part of this. I'll be doing stuff on the baseball side. I'll be doing stuff on the wrestling side. But wait, we'll get there. You guys have to know about what's going to happen first. In the upcoming weeks, we will tell you more and more. And I'll have more guests coming on, and we'll leak some more information about what's going on. So I have Chad Miller on the line, waiting to come on the show to release some great tidbits about what's going to happen and how this whole process came about. But first I have to tell you about Collar and Elbow. Hats, hoodies, tees, sweats, eye patches, face masks, all that is made by Collar and Elbow. It's a great wrestling apparel company from Al Snow. And Al Snow is coming up next to tell you about that. So when you order from Collar and Elbow, use promo code CANCRUSHERS. All one word, capital C in can, capital C in Crushers, and you'll save 10%. Here comes Al, followed by Chad. We're going to be talking baseball and wrestling.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
And welcome back to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. On the line with me is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Chad Miller. Chad, it's great to have you back on the show, and you have some epic news for our neck of the woods up here in Pennsylvania, don't you?
Yes, sir. I'm really excited. Thank you for the opportunity to come on and talk with you again, and can't thank you enough for your interest in our festival we're going to have.
Yeah, this festival is going to take place June 18th, 19th, and 20th, with most of it being held at Showers Field. Is that correct, in DuBois, Pennsylvania?
It's actually going to be, we're going to move it over to the Little League complex, just so that we have a centralized area that everybody can kind of work from. So it's going to be very, very, very cool from that perspective, is that, you know, everything is, if you're a big fan of baseball, but most importantly, if you're a big fan of elite level professional wrestling, you're gonna really enjoy this weekend.
Now, this weekend is actually, before we get into the gist of things, so people have to continue to listen to both of our lovely voices, this weekend means a lot to you. First and foremost, let's talk about why and what it really is.
What it is, it's a tribute to my father. As you guys well know, I'm one of the owners and founders of Gladiator Sports Network, and my dad was there in Western Pennsylvania. And for over 43 years, he was a referee and also a coach. He's inducted into the American Legion Baseball Hall of Fame as a coach, and served a lot of time and received a lot of honors from the PIAA as a high school basketball, football, and volleyball official. And it was really weird. He passed away 2 years ago due to diabetic-related complications, and I had a conversation with him about 2 weeks prior to his passing. And he said, "There's one thing in life I want you to do, and that's to be an ambassador of sports, and most importantly, an ambassador of baseball." But he said, also, with your passion for professional wrestling, he's like, you need to make sure that you're giving fans more than anything the opportunity to really enjoy the sports entertainment industry. And so it's become really a passion and also a mission in my life to make sure I uphold that promise to him. And so I was thinking about things, on a weekly basis, we're doing things here in Louisville, Kentucky that fulfill that mission. But I had a long talk with my best friend back home, Kirk Theron, who still lives in Knox, my mom, and then my brother. And I said, I'm really not upholding that promise to my dad back home. And so Coach Tom Caleri at Penn State Du Bois is a mentor of mine and also a really good friend. And he was actually having a T-shirt fundraising program online over the Christmas holiday. And I was sitting there and I was thinking about my dad. I was kind of getting sentimental, thinking about, spending the holidays without him. And I thought to myself, what am I doing back home to do this? And so I came up with this idea for the Keith Miller Memorial. So it's truly a sports celebration festival. Hopefully it's providing the families the opportunity to get together and cherish these types of special moments. But most importantly, it's allowing Western PA to have exposure to high-level athletics, but also exposure to athletes such as Jack Green and Crimson and guys like that you don't normally get to see on a daily basis, and have the opportunity to meet and greet, folks like Al Snow and legends like he is. That's something that doesn't happen every day in Western PA. And so it's my objective and my goal to bring those types of resources and those opportunities to the people back home.
That sounds like a amazing weekend. I like what you're doing for your dad. Let's pull down the curtain. We've talked offline about this for about months now, and I'm excited to help you in any which way. You know that the Can Crushers are going to be there. More so because you're a great friend, but in memory of your dad. If you weren't there, your dad would probably be happier. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's really fun because I've got a really good relationship with the Altoona Curve with my baseball background. And the other cool thing is Derek Martin, who's the GM of the Altoona Curve. Him and I went to college together at Slippery Rock, and I called him about this opportunity, and he sent 2 staff members immediately up to meet with me in Du Bois last week. And so we've got some really cool opportunities with those guys, cross-promotion stuff. We've got some really nice opportunities with the city of Du Bois. I don't know if you've been to that field or not, that complex.
Yes.
I travel. I'm on an airplane 4 days a week, and I can tell you I have the opportunity to meet with and see facilities around the country. And I got to tell you, that facility is first class. It's probably top 5 amateur baseball and softball facilities I've ever been to in my life. And so to see that and those types of facilities being created back home, and let's call a spade a spade. Western PA is not the land of fruitfulness as far as wealth and money.
Right.
And so to see something like that in a I'm not going to call it an impoverished area, but definitely a rural area that is not the most financially sound, to see those types of facilities there absolutely need to be celebrated and really be showcased. Because I know there's a lot of people back home, even in Knox, and I talked to my college coach, Slippery Rock. He didn't even know how nice the facility was. So That's what's so fun about this is it's not only bringing funds and hopefully raising money for the City of DuBois Little League, the United Way, and then also Penn State DuBois. It's also showcasing these facilities that need to be celebrated.
Yeah, more and more events need to be held there. For ESPN coming in, a Little League World Series or something like that. They're that top notch. They really are.
I would put it, I had the opportunity and honor to be able to coach at the Little League World Series at their camps, their amateur camps or youth camps. And I would put that DuBois facility nose to nose with those facilities. So, I mean, coming as a wrestling fan, you will not find a nicer venue in the state of Pennsylvania to watch a wrestling match at than those fields.
Yeah, and before we get to wrestling, let's talk about what's going to happen on June 18th. We'll just break the days down, save wrestling for last, of course, because I'm like that way.
Yeah, so, we've got a youth tournament. It's going to be a youth Little League tournament. Right now, we've got 10 teams signed up. Our goal is to get to 16. The tournament will start on Thursday night. It'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, into Sunday. And we've got some really cool top-level teams will be playing in that. That'll be ages 10 to 12. I'm working on TV contracts right now to be able to have the championship game of the youth tournament being televised and broadcast, which, I can think back as a Little League player, I think I got to play in front of TV twice. And that was probably one of the most memorable experiences for me because I had a heck of a game, the one game, and it was awesome because my grandma and grandpa were able to see it. Also, my aunt and uncle were able to see it, which they didn't normally get a chance and opportunity to see me play. Then on Friday night, we will actually be having the high school all-star game for District 9 and District 10. This is the first time ever in the history of District 9 and District 10 that there's a high school baseball all-star game. So again, for a lot of the kids that are playing in that and a lot of the players that are playing in that and even the coaches, it's truly a showcase and celebration of a phenomenal season that they had. I got an opportunity to play in American Legion All-Stars. I got to play in Three River Stadium and all that kind of stuff. That type of opportunity doesn't exist anymore. So with this, it's truly a celebration for these players for having a great season and also hopefully getting them some exposure to college coaches. My old college coach, Slippery Rock, has committed to come. Obviously, Coach Clary from Penn State DuBois, the Pitt Bradford coach has been notified. So we'll have a lot of cool coaches and a lot of college coaches that will show up and watch these kids hopefully get a look that they haven't received.
Yeah, and that's to spotlight them. That really is. Sorry, but that really is a spotlight them and to get a look to go farther. And that's what this is about.
Mm-hmm. And if you look at what Al and I have been trying to accomplish with the Allison Wrestling Academy, which I'll leak some information later on as we get into wrestling about what we're doing there and the advancements that we made just last week. What our entire intention and our entire goal, and to be frank with you, the whole premise of Al and I's friendship is to help advance the ball forward for not only professional wrestling, but athletes in general. And we're truly fulfilling this mission by holding this all-star game. So to say excited is an extreme understatement for this entire weekend. And I can't thank the City of DuBois enough. And I can't thank you. And I can't thank Coach Clary for all your friendship and help through this process. And there's another guy, Chris Rossetti from D9, D10 Sports, that is really being instrumental. And then Mr. Straub, who's AD at St. Mary's, and then Mr. Osborne, who's AD at Brookville, who are both D9 and D10 baseball chairs, the opportunity to partner with them and really work with them on this project.
Yeah, I'm excited for the baseball aspect of this as well because, of course, I'm going to be there. I'll find something to do, I'd imagine. Can you tell everybody?
Well, you're announcing, so
I know.
You better buckle up the chin strap there, buddy.
I was going to leak that later, but yeah, I will be announcing, and I'm pretty pumped about that, coming back to my roots. So can you tell everybody how to register? What happens if you get more than 16 teams now? Are we going to expand the tourney?
We'll expand. We'll expand as much because all the net profit from this weekend goes to charity. So from that perspective, if you want to come play in this tournament, we'll find a place for you. But I'll send out the link to you later on to post on your website and for you to broadcast on social media. It'll be with the City of DuBois. All you have to do is contact the City of DuBois Little League, and they'll be able to register you. But I'll send the official website over to you to put on your social media.
Look at that. Taking care of me. That I don't even have to search for it this
Absolutely.
time. It's about time.
With my weird Western Yenzer Southern accent, it's very hard sometimes for people to pick up websites. So it's just a lot easier for me to send it than speak it. So,
touche, yeah. You were a hell of a baseball player. I remember you crushing balls off of Travis Mentier, local boy from Ridgeway, and just let's talk about your baseball career a little bit before we get into wrestling.
Yeah, it's probably obviously one of my fondest memories, and really. Looking back at, from playing Little League all the way through Senior League, and that's one thing that, I get really, really pumped up to talk about. I can't really remember certain games, but, just the experiences, whether it's riding, it's illegal now, but riding in the back of my dad's pickup truck, with my teammates to go play at different areas and through all, Little League All-Stars to, and playing American Legion, and I stopped playing American Legion when I was 16 to go play in the Fed League and AAA VA. But one of the things I really truly remember and why one of the reasons we're holding this in DuBois and Brookville opposed to Knox was just how I was embraced by those two communities, and just the support. And, back then it was truly an event, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if you played in the Fed League and the men's league back then, you were, I wouldn't say celebrity status, but you were looked upon very favorably by those two communities. And, going back to Mr. Straub at St. Mary's High School, I played 1 year for Straub's Beer up in St. Mary's, and then, playing for Coach Caleri at Penn State DuBois, for his Keystone Baseball Academy back then. Him and Coach Nesbitt were just incredible role models for me. And a lot of the reasons why I've been, quasi-successful in my life are really rooted in the coaching and the exposure that I had to just great mentors and great people, whether, again, from Mr. Irwin at Keystone to Coach O'Neill to my dad to, Coach Caleri, Coach, really the Bimels, Joe Bimel was a hell of a player from St. Mary's. His uncle coached me for 1 year, really to the ultimate role model besides my dad, my brother, was Coach Messer at Slippery Rock. So, it was an incredible ride for me as a player. I got to play in the College World Series and just the life lessons from, tearing my bicep and having to learn to deal from that, to being the little protege kid in the batting cage at 4 years old, hitting in the cage. Western Pennsylvania will always be my home, and that's why we're doing what we're doing, because of the great memories that I had.
Yeah, and this should add a ton of memories for the kiddos that are coming. Do you want to leak some of the towns that are coming yet, or you're not putting that out?
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, Cranberry, Pennsylvania. It's funny because everybody gets Cranberry, PA, where I grew up near, confused with Cranberry Township down near Pittsburgh. But I got to give a shout out to Coach Garmung, Kevin Garmung, and Josh Garmung, just a great baseball family. They've been involved with baseball for years and years and years. A guy named Paul Sloan, who I played against and then worked with my dad in a factory. He's putting a team in. So I can't thank those guys enough. We've got a team coming out of Knox, 2 teams coming out of Clarion, 3 teams coming out of State College. We got some teams coming out of DuBois, Brockway area. So, if you're a fan of baseball, if you're one of those people that just really enjoys the youth game of baseball and you want to just come out and support, I got to tell you, this is an awesome opportunity to see a lot of young and upcoming players from that local area. So, I think, and then, you roll on to the high school all-star game. This is just going to be hopefully an opportunity for kids to come out and have fun. I plan on doing some instruction during the game, and Coach Caleri is planning on doing the same. We've got a really cool sponsor that I'm working with personally to develop some performance stuff with Win Virtual Reality, which is Dan O'Dowd, the former GM of Colorado Rockies. Him and his son Chris are very involved with what we're doing here at Norton Sport Performance in Louisville. We'll be bringing that technology for everybody to try out. We'll have a sports science booth set up so that people can kind of see what's evolving in the country, and not only nationally but also internationally. So that's another aspect that we're bringing to the table for this tournament and also this festival. That's truly a celebration of sport and truly a celebration of how can we help people get better at something that they truly love.
And recently you brought this to Penn State Du Bois, right? Can you talk about some of their thoughts and what the kids there were doing with this technology?
Yeah. It's really fun because reaction time is key in baseball, and Win Virtual Reality is a platform that just was newly evolved. In fact, they just signed a deal with Major League Baseball that they are the now official virtual reality training partner of Major League Baseball. So if you look at the on deck circle, you got a guy warming up during a Major League Baseball game, but what you won't see is the guy down in the tunnel of the dugout, literally facing the pitcher that he is about to face through virtual reality. So by the time he actually faces that pitcher, he's already had 3 at bats against, Garrett Cole with the Yankees or Chad Green from the Yankees or whomever, which is it's almost like an unfair advantage. But that's where this thing is going. It's incredible. And so when I showed this program to Penn State Du Bois, I said, guys, listen. You have scouting reports running into any game, and then you know exactly whom you're facing. Well, we can program in who you're facing, and you can face that guy 25 times before you actually step foot on the field. And it takes the ability to adjust in the batter's box, but most importantly, it takes paralysis by analysis out of the equation. So you see ball, hit ball, truly to the nth degree, and the other cool thing is we're actually building performance programs around this. So if you look at a smaller college program like Penn State Du Bois that's facing recruiting obstacles like going against Clemson and going against Louisville and going against Vanderbilt, now we're able to cost effectively put them on the same exact training playing field as what those larger SEC, ACC programs are. And so from that perspective, the players were elated by having the opportunity to try out the product, and they were actually pretty amazed by the ability to simulate game tracking and work on pitch recognition, work on reaction time, and work on mechanics as well.
And you're going to have a booth set up where I can step up to the plate against somebody, right, and see how bad can you have Al Snow set up as a pitcher? I would be able to hit off Al.
Absolutely. You might see the world's best short arm pitcher ever when you see that. The funniest experiences of my life was taking Al axe throwing. It was awesome.
Okay. We're not going to get into that?
Well, let's just say his wife was a little bit more efficient and proficient at axe throwing than he was.
Okay. We'll leave it at that.
I will say this. Al is an amazing bowler. So that's probably his best bar sport.
Okay.
So because he just throws the absolute crap out of the ball.
Not good at darts then either, I would imagine.
No skills where it involves theta brainwaves are not his. That's not his forte. However, if you want him to do 1 million push-ups, he's your guy.
Or train dolphins.
Or train dolphins, but however, dolphins are very aggressive.
So he is too sometimes, right?
He's a big softie, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he is. He's a great guy. All right, that's our transition over to the night of wrestling. And you brought up some names, Crimson, Jax Dane. I leaked out a couple this past weekend on the show.
Yep.
I'm sure you don't have a match card set yet, but you run through the names that we have kind of talked about, and did you throw any more in since we've talked?
Yeah, we've got, Vicious Vicky out of New Jersey, which I'm not, if you guys follow the show, she's
been on the show. She's a Can Crusher alum.
I know, and that's really well. She had nothing but great things to say about you guys. It didn't make her feel awkward at all when she was on the program. So you didn't catch my sarcasm there.
I did,
but
thanks.
So no, she absolutely loves you guys. I had a long conversation with her the other day. My only regret with her is I wish she lived closer to Louisville, Kentucky, simply because I think that out of the female up-and-coming talent to have less than 3 years experience, she's got a shot at being something pretty special. She's definitely got the it factor. We've got her and this other girl coming out of Philadelphia. Mimi is her last name.
Notorious Mimi.
Notorious Mimi will be coming up. I'm really excited. I've heard nothing but phenomenal things about her. I think that it's very exciting to have new young female talent coming up because, just to be brutally honest, female quality talent is very, very, very difficult to come by right now. I think that, people come in and out of this industry. Sometimes it's not for them. But with Vicious Vicky and the passion she brings and what we're talking about with Mimi, I think we've got a really good chance. But kind of the coup de grace of our female card is obviously Lady Frost and Ray Lynn. Two probably the most professional vets in the market, right now for independent wrestlers, female independent wrestlers. I think that they just bring so much to the table. They're just such great entertainers and truly bring a level of professionalism to this card that probably Northwestern PA hasn't seen in quite some time. And
Raylan loves us, so that's a fact.
Oh, she is a big, big fan of you, and so I think that it's her affinity for icy light that probably makes you kindred spirits.
At least, well, you got to watch because we could say it's Straub's, but the only one that likes Straub's is Al.
I like Straub's. I'll be honest with you. If I can get Straub's, actually, I bootleg quite a few cases of Straub's down here. Hopefully, the ATF's not listening.
Right.
So.
Oh, I better not tag them then. How about the men's side?
Obviously, Jack Stain is one of my very, very good and close friends in wrestling. The guy is just a wrestler's wrestler. In conjunction with him, we've got Crimson, we've got Cash Flow coming up from OVW. And that, to be honest with you, I am extremely excited to have Cash up in front of that audience. He's never worked that area before. And as you all know, Cash, being one of our instructors at OVW and just, again, I use that term, the wrestler's wrestler. The guy is just a professional. He brings it every single night. Sometimes you get people to come up and show up at your shows and you're like, this will be a BC effort. Cash brings an A+ effort every single night that guy shows up. And it's amazing. Then we got Luscious Lawrence coming up. We'll have Cal Harrow. So if people haven't seen the Fanny Pack Kid, he's extremely entertaining. Probably one of the fastest up-and-coming guys. If we keep him at OVW for the next 3 months, we'll be nothing but lucky. Because I do believe Impact or AEW is probably going to sign him away from us. Luscious Lawrence isn't far behind him. Luscious has a mentality. Luscious is probably one of the guys I'm most proud of at OVW. We drafted Luscious out of our combine 2 years ago.
Yep.
He was out of our combine class is by far our most talented, and not only is he the most talented, but he's probably the most entertaining. And going back to what I said about Vicious Vicky, he has an it factor about him. If he can continue to grow and evolve as a wrestler and mature as a wrestler, the sky is the absolute limit for him. And what's cool about him, if you haven't seen it, PBS did a documentary on him of his journey from being drafted as a combine student all the way to now, where he is a very mature wrestler that is doing the best he can to provide for his family. So it's just it's a really cool thing.
Yeah, that was the combine that I was at, and when he was there, he was all business. Like, I wanted to talk to him. He's like, maybe later. He was just complete all business. All I'm going to do is crush this combine, and he did.
Mm-hmm. He's a very impressive individual. He played football in college. Outstanding athlete, moves well, works well, but most importantly, he is an absolute fan hound. The guy just knows how to work an audience. He knows how to get people interactive. He's just a lot of fun to watch in the ring and watch him work.
Is he going to bring his sidekick Hollywood Haley J up?
You never know what will happen.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. So, that's a side piece, not you got to get these terminologies right. 'Cause,
I know
him as a pimp, he takes those things very, very serious.
He does. I know. So, they're both going to beat the hell out of me now. Great.
That's the wrestler that I'm still working on. She's spectacular. Even if she doesn't make the trip, I would give a shout out to her and just how she's evolved and matured over the last year and really taken her craft to the next level. She's a girl when I first met her that, I said, listen, you need to make this adjustment, and boy, did she ever. She made that adjustment plus 110%. And she's really following Al's tutelage. She works a lot with Reverend Ronnie, who's just an outstanding teacher. And then she's really gravitated towards Doug Basham, which I think has had a tremendous impact on her career. But to be honest with you, she's a chip off the old block. Her mom is probably one of the most impressive independent wrestlers, definitely in the history of this region, and really has made a career out of, being again a type wrestler person. That's the amazing Maria. She's just a great lady.
Yeah.
But we'll also have Big Trouble Ben coming out of Maryland. One of the requests that came out of the city of DuBois was they wanted size on this card. And so what you're going to see with this show is you're going to see a lot of people that are really, really big, and not just big from a personality perspective, just big humans. So if you look at Jack Stain, Jack's is 6'5", 335. Crimson is 6'6". Now he's really put some muscle on. Little known fact, Crimson was actually working security for the campaign, and really put a lot of size on. So Crimson used to be about 235. Now he's about 290. Just jackness. There's no other way of putting it.
Yeah, he looks great on NWA right now. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have Big Trouble Ben, who's 6'10", 330 pounds. So we've got Lady Frost's husband coming up as well. We've got some very, very, very talented workers that not only act the part, play the part, but they look the part. So when you show up to our show, you're going to see some very big bodies.
Is Al going to get in the ring?
That's the question. And I'm not going to say yes or no, just because, he's still, if you ask him, he's going to say yes. If you ask me as one of his best friends, I'm going to say hell no. Al's getting over, he's just not getting over, but he's rehab back. We're actually going to be launching a documentary on his rehab journey from his bilateral total knees. And what this man at 57 years old has been able to do compared to any other normal human is pretty much like he's almost a cyborg or something. I don't know what the hell he is, but
he is a cyborg.
He looks better now at 57 than he did at 37 when he was working in the WWE.
Yeah.
And he's just an absolute workaholic. The guy is mentally, physically, and really just as a person superior to 98% of the human race. He's just incredible.
It's unbelievable that you said that about Al Snow.
Yep, absolutely.
It really is. Oh, what else did I leave out? Are we gonna any surprises? That was gonna be what I end with.
Yes, so that's the thing. The surprises are this: is that you come to the show and you're going to absolutely enjoy from bell to bell. You're gonna have a great time. All the wrestlers I've personally handpicked because they are extremely fan friendly, and they're going to give you the best possible show you can get. We will, from a fan experience perspective, I'll make this statement that we will absolutely crush any WWE show you've ever gone to, from an interaction with the wrestlers, and just really everybody that's coming is a personal friend of mine that is coming here for the right reasons. And that is to give the people of Buster, Pennsylvania show like they've never seen before.
And you brought up meet and greet. Barring any of the COVID stuff that's going on, are we going to have like a special meet and greet an hour before, hour after, something like that?
Yeah. So the meet and greet will be an hour beforehand. We'll have an autograph session. Anybody that buys a meet and greet ticket will get one autograph on a memorial autograph card, and then they'll be able to take one picture with each of the wrestlers. Any other, additional pictures will be obviously an extra charge, but for the meet and greet, you get one picture with each wrestler and one autograph. And so that's what I'm so excited about. And then like Jack Dane, he wants to umpire a game. I'm like, dude, I don't know about that because you're going to scare the kids off. But, that's the thing is that that's the type of guy that he is. And that's why he's one of my very good friends. He's just an incredible human.
I don't know if I want to see Jack Stain behind the plate with the umpire equipment on, or him standing on first or second base just towering over a poor 10-year-old. Just going...
Well, and the other thing is, I can tell you one thing is not going to happen, and that's an argument with the umpire. So
this is true. You have any of those? I mean, they're coming up for the whole weekend. They're not just coming to the day and leaving.
Yep.
Some of them are going to be up there the whole weekend helping out as much as they can, right?
Jax was an incredible baseball player actually in high school.
We talked about that.
He had 2 or 3 scholarship offers, and think about that. You had a kid who was 6'5", and back then I think he was 215, and he's a catcher actually, and so he just truly loved basketball. So that's why he made that choice. But that's the thing is that his niece is an incredible softball player in Tennessee. And so he absolutely loves baseball, and that's him and his wife are going to come up early and watch the games, and I'm really excited just to share the weekend with him.
Yeah, for sure. Before we get tickets, one last thing: what happens if it rains all weekend? Do we have a plan in place for that?
Well, that's the wonderful thing about the turf field at Du Bois is that they can take 32 inches of rain per hour. So, barring lightning, we're good to go.
That's what I thought. What about the wrestling event?
Wrestling event, that's something that we've got some, preliminary precautions in place. There's a couple different indoor facilities that we're able to divert and move to.
Okay, good. See that? All questions answered, except the one that you wanted to have been talking about now for the last 15 minutes. Tickets, where can they get them, how much they're going to be, and all that jazz.
Yeah, so tickets are going to be very affordable. We're going to come in at $15 for adults for general admission, $10 for kids. Then for on the field, we'll be looking at $25 for adults, $20 for kids, and then meet and greets will be $35.
Wow, that's extremely cheap for a meet and greet.
Yeah, our big thing is we want people. I want interaction. I want to build, and you see this living back home in Ridgeway. I want people to get the love of wrestling back.
Yes.
And the easiest way for us to do that, and the love of baseball back, easiest way for us to do that is make it affordable and accessible for the fans. And so if we're able to do that, and to be frank with you, I want this to be an annual event. And the only way that I can justify it being an annual event is getting people out there and getting people to experience just being a fan and just loving, getting back to the love of the game of baseball, but most importantly, for wrestling, having access and showing people, what real professional wrestling is like.
And you brought up that you're going to leak something, and it involves Slippery Rock, and that could keep wrestling around here for a long time.
Well, and that's the exciting thing is what Al and I did with the trade school was first in the world, and I'm as you all know, I'm a pretty humble guy when it comes to a lot of stuff, but this is something that is huge, and by no way, shape, or form is this bragging. But what we did with the trade school was we pioneered a path that we got laughed at a lot. We got, criticized a lot for it. We created the first ever trade school for professional wrestling and sports entertainment. Well, we had so much success with it, and that a year and a half ago, Slippery Rock had reached out to me. My undergraduate degree is in sport management, marketing, and exercise science. And Dr. Crow, who was at Slippery Rock University, said, "Man, you got something here. There's something to do with this sports entertainment stuff." And Dr. Crow himself is just a phenomenal person and an innovator. And he said, "What do you think we can do with this as a 4-year degree?" And I said, "We can absolutely convert it into a 4-year degree for sports entertainment." And so Thursday, I went up and presented to those guys, presented to the provost of Slippery Rock University, presented to the vice president, presented to the director of development. And they have given the blessing to move forward with tentative approval to begin the curriculum development for the first ever 4-year degree program in sports entertainment and professional wrestling. And so, I talked to a lot of people, and I'm like, "Do you understand the magnitude of this?" Because if you sit back and you think about it, a lot of people are like, "What in the hell are you talking about?" But with this, we're truly able to give, where we get the most interest, to be frank with you, is international students.
Right.
Because wrestling is so much bigger overseas. This is actually going to allow kids to get financial aid. So if you look at wrestlers, and I by no means am I trying to offend anybody that's listening to this program, but if you truly look at wrestling as a whole, wrestlers traditionally are socioeconomically challenged. They don't make a whole lot of money. So with this, immediately you are eligible for financial aid. Immediately you are eligible for the GI Bill. Immediately you are eligible for Pell Grants. That means that now those kids that it was just a dream, it becomes a reality, because now we're able to get those people enrolled into programs. And most importantly, if we talk about the numbers, and we've talked about this before, there are 985,000 professional wrestlers in the world that claim they're a professional wrestler. There are 527 jobs that pay over $40,000 a year in the ring. However, outside of the ring, there's 15,500 jobs that pay over $40,000 a year. So you put that in perspective. If your true passion in life is professional wrestling, there's absolutely no reason why you can't follow your dream and make a living out of it. But up until this point, it was a very, very, very difficult pathway to success. We talk about Al Snow. Al Snow is the picture of why we're doing this. Al was a phenomenal wrestler. He had a 15-year, very, very, very successful career in the ring. However, how good Al was in the ring, he's 9 times better outside the ring in the wrestling industry. As a producer, as a writer, as a broadcaster, as a commentator, as a wrestling trainer. Heck, last year he was voted in the top 3 wrestling trainers in the world. That's what I'm getting at, and that's the opportunity I want every single professional wrestler in the world to have, is to have a pathway to success, to follow their dreams and follow their passion.
And this is going to be just at Slippery Rock. Can other places?
Right now,
go ahead.
Right now is exclusive to Slippery Rock University, because they need to be rewarded. They're the ones that took the leap. They're the ones that took the risk. And to be frank with you, the only program that's similar to that is at Full Sail University. The University of South Carolina has a sports entertainment degree, but it doesn't have actual live wrestling integrated into the curriculum. With this, you're going to be able to work with multiple promoters. You're going to be working with OVW. And, I talked with a couple people at WWE this week that are very excited about the opportunity to have people that will be interns that have this background that will hopefully evolve into full-time jobs. So, it's just to put it into words. I mean, I'm extremely excited about this. I'm extremely excited what it does for the industry, but most importantly, I'm extremely excited for what it does for people that really want to get involved in just a really cool business.
And it's from, and I hate to say it like this, it's from being a wrestler to all the way being a producer, right? You don't have to take a bump ever if you don't want to. You're gonna go do the path that you want with your air quotes minor, right?
Absolutely. So it's really a focus and a track it's going to fall underneath the College of Sport Management and Marketing. But it really falls into what it falls into more than anything is it's eventually, I think it could be big enough that it probably will fall into its own major eventually, where it'll be a sports entertainment major.
That's unbelievable that has happened. I really wish I could rewind myself, Jesus, I don't know, 30 years and have this at my, beck and call.
And what's crazy is I have a list, and I'm not exaggerating. I have 222 kids right now over between Asia, England, all foreign kids that belong to one of our 23 trade schools that are out there, the Austin Wrestling Academies, that are eagerly waiting to come in. And what's neat, and for your international listeners, is that Slippery Rock has they have 19 people that focus on international visas that do nothing but just work paperwork. And so what's awesome about that is that, when it comes to our trade school, we can take international kids, but I don't know how in the hell to do a visa appropriately. Heidi Katrina and I, we've been working on her visa for 6 months, and obviously there's challenges with COVID. But immediately we get them enrolled with Slippery Rock. They start working on their visa, and they've got a liaison that will help them get through that process. But what's cool about it is that they're coming to one of the premier sports management and marketing universities in the country.
Yep.
Last year, Slippery Rock was ranked number 3 in the country for sport management. And it's not like we're sending them to
Can't Crusher U.
We're sending them to a clown college.
Right.
We're sending them to one of the premier Pennsylvania state educational institutions that we have. And so, people ask me why Slippery Rock. Well, number one, it's where I went. And so I was able to leverage my relationships and really, if anybody wants to thank anybody, once they go through this program, they need to thank Coach Jeff Messer, who's my baseball coach, because he's the one that opened up the doors for me to get this thing going.
What's that mean for wrestling shows then in the area? Does Slippery Rock put on their own, every Saturday night in the gym, barring any sports there or something?
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that we really want to lean towards, or not lean towards, or we're working towards, is creating a TV, broadcast out of there every single week. Because Slippery Rock has a phenomenal communications department that has an entire TV crew. They have better cameras than we have at OVW. They have production, they have broadcast, they have journalism. So it's really fun for those guys because they're able to have real-world practical experience with a weekly TV show.
Right. Again, I'm jealous. I really am. I really am jealous. So
you're never too old to start.
I'm $50,000 in debt from the last time I went back to school, so I am.
Work towards a scholarship, my friend.
Plus, I have a junior going to school, and that's actually one of the places he's looking at is Slippery Rock when he goes to school in 3 years. So, I'll get there.
How awesome would that be? You could be like Rodney Dangerfield back to school. You and your son could go together.
He would love that. He would love that. You might as well bring the wife then, too, right? Well, I'll just quit.
Why not?
Quit jobs and go to Slippery Rock.
There's financial aid available. Apply today.
Do you think your mom or your brother would put us up?
My mom would love to have you.
I know she would. I know she would. Poor lady. What else do you have for us? You have to have something else.
Well, I think, like you said, we've got a lot of cool stuff going on. We're doing a lot of really neat stuff in the field of neurodiagnostics and neurocognitive function that we're implementing that'll be something that's a 2-hour conversation for a later date on sport performance and new evolutions in sport performance. You
need to come to you need to come to the festival to talk about that.
Exactly, and I've warned anybody that wants to enter in that dialogue with me that you better pack a lunch because it's going to be a long conversation. I get pretty passionate about it.
Yeah, hopefully I can send the English professor your way to talk about it that weekend.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun to sit down and talk. And like I said, I can't thank you enough. And can't thank your show enough for being so supportive. I'm really excited to help the community of DuBois and in their little league raise money the United Way, and then also, I got to be hush hush about it, but I'll say it anyways. We're gonna do some stuff for Penn State DuBois' baseball team, and if you live there locally in the area and you haven't caught one of their games, they got something special going on there. They won the Small College World Series 2 years in a row.
Yep.
And then they also, they just got a phenomenal program, and I had an opportunity to spend a lot of time with their team last week, and they've just got a lot of really nice kids that are playing on that team and very talented players.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, we'll stay up to date. We're about, 2 months away, April, May, June. So we might have you come back on, touch base, anything else that comes up in the next couple weeks or so. Maybe you throw a surprise our way, somebody else that you pull out of the hat, or maybe Al will have something new coming up in the near future, huh?
Yeah, and that's something is that, you hear from me quite a bit. Maybe we'll get Al on here and he can talk about, his efforts. He's doing it. He's very excited about it. We're working with the promoter, Jim Miller, out of Pittsburgh. That's being kind enough to let us use his ring, so we don't have to truck ours all the way up from Ohio or from Kentucky. I don't even know what state I'm in today. From Kentucky. But that's it's truly, we're partnering with some really good people up in that, and like I said, very fortunate, very blessed to have everybody involved that we do.
Last question for you: are you going to be in Al Snow's comic book? Do you get to make an appearance when that comes out?
I think he positioned me as a garbage can.
I thought that was mine. I thought that was mine.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't think I'm in there, but Al has become a really good friend of mine, and it's been. He is like the Dos Equis beer dude. He's one of the most interesting humans on the face of the planet, and the guy is just timeless. Like. I'll go and bust my butt in the weight room and think I'm Hercules, and then all I have to do is just work out with him, and I'm like, he is literally 16 years older than I am, and he just whoops my ass.
Over and over and over again. Yet you learn something every day from him.
Oh, I mean, that's and all joking aside, no matter what business it is, I can ask him a question, and the guy knows something about it, and then you double check it, and then he's right, and it's a great quality. But same aspect, it pisses me off because I can't get anything past him.
Right, or you usually have Steffi do it for you, right?
Exactly. Well, I will say this: the next time you talk to him, hopefully it's on the show, you need to ask him the seat heater story.
Seat heater, okay, that's in my notes right now.
So basically, every time he gets in my truck, I turn his seat heater on. And the greatest thing about Kentucky summers is they're about 95 and about 90% humidity. So he always wears jeans. And so you can get a good sweat going with him whenever he's not paying attention.
Nice. That's definitely, there's a couple you told me to ask him. So within the next month, we need to hook up, have Al come on. 1, just to roast him, and 2, to talk about this great event that he'll be attending.
And then the last thing is that anybody that's listening out there, if you ever see Al Snow in a restaurant, you need to order him a hamburger without meat or a cheeseburger without meat.
Okay. There you go. Throw Al Snow under the bus. That's what this was. No.
Yep.
June 18th. Well, it's actually going to be the 17th then, right? The 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th.
We'll start registration for the tournament on the 17th. The tournament officially starts on the 18th. So you tournament 18, 19, 20, and then high school all-star game on the 19th, and then on the 18th. And then we'll have the wrestling event on the 19th.
Sounds like a great weekend to be in DuBois, Pennsylvania. Chad, thanks for coming on. Like I said, I'll talk to you and Al here in probably a couple days, kayfabe, but we'll just keep it going, buddy.
Perfect. Have a great day. Thanks again for your time. Appreciate it.
First and foremost, near and dear to his heart, yeah, it really is. Chad is a wonderful human being that wants to only help the next generation get better. Have it be at baseball, at football, at wrestling, whatever. Chad is going to be there. He's going to be somebody that you want to keep in your pocket all the time. Call him, hey, I'm having rough, blocking at the plate. Chad was a catcher. He can help you do that. Hey, the slippery rock, getting into there. Maybe Chad can find a way for you, or he knows people to find a way. Chad is going to be somebody that you want to keep in your pocket. But you guys really want to know more about this wrestling event. Well, I can tell you this. This coming Friday, on the link in the description that I will repost again on Friday with another link, you guys will be able to order your wrestling tickets. The prices, how about that? $35 for a meet and greet. And you get autographs from everybody. Jack Stain, Crimson, Ray Lynn, Lady Frost, Vicious Vicky, Notorious Mimi. The list can go on and on. Chad mentioned everybody. Who knows who else could show up at this event? We'll leave it at that. Guys, we set aside about a half an hour just to do teasers, but when Chad and I get on, we just like doing the whole details. We are so excited about this event. I am honored that Chad asked me to be part of this, to broadcast the baseball games, to be involved in wrestling, and we'll leave it at that to find out what I'm going to do with wrestling when it comes up. Guys, you have to be there. If you love, and I know I said it a million times in the intro, if you love baseball and wrestling and Al Snow, June 18th, 19th, and 20th, you need to be in DuBois, Pennsylvania. Follow the link if you guys have any questions about this event. cancrusher69@gmail.com is the best way to get a hold of us about this event. Send us an email. We can pass it along. If I don't have the answers, we can pass it along to the right person. Again, cancrushers69@gmail.com. Tickets go on sale this Friday in the link. Until then, I want you to remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot.